This is Mr. Samsel, I hope I'm saying the last name right. 2019 C7 Z06. He actually shipped us 2 cars down. I don't know if y'all seen the video of a black F-body we did recently. Beautiful heads and cam, low mileage car. This is his C7 Z06, currently with something like an 800 package. I'm not really sure what's all done to it, but we're baselining, I'll say around 640 rear wheel horsepower now. Plan is to put a Maggie on it and a fuel system, and I think to get it close to 850 rear wheel horsepower. So I'll go look at the ticket, and then we'll get on the rack and get building.
Good. Supposed to come around.
I like the ones that he has on each side. What happened to that one?
That's super tweaker.
Right. You see that one dude, he was missing an eye, so he built a prosthetic eye that has a light in it.
Stop.
Yes. And he could
Is he a technician or is the guy just...
No, it's just a normal dude, but he has light coming out of his prosthetic eye.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
I think it was... God, I want to say there was a camera built in, but that would be badass too.
That would be.
That's the way. That's the way.
Yeah, see, if I had something like that, I'd be, I don't know. You'd have to do something cool. You'd have to.
Everything's legal in Mexico.
Okay. Okay.
That's the beauty of going to Mexico.
I guess so.
What about those donkey shows?
Dude.
Those are f***ed up. I threw up the first time I saw one.
I've never seen one.
It is
I don't think I want to see one.
So
look pretty good.
you go out to the back of the bar.
Avocado?
Yeah, avocado and cheese.
Ooh, okay, see that?
So you go to the back of the bar while you're drinking and shit before the show, and you see them back there just fucking pouring beer down this donkey's throat.
Shut up.
Okay, I'm
So
lying.
they're getting the
donkey
donkeys
drunk?
drunk?
Yeah, the donkey's back there getting fucked up, man.
Why? Just because?
I couldn't answer that. It's just what I saw.
Someone needs to Google this. Is this real?
It gets donkeys horny.
If I'm on camera, this is fucked
This is
up.
awesome. This is great.
I see this pick up a stack of quarters with her fucking
Like,
yes, on the table.
I wonder why the donkeys are getting drunk.
then
Like, the girls look that bad?
The
You know what I mean? Like,
she was pretty fucking ugly.
Oh no.
So anyways, night goes on, we're getting more and more fucked up.
So tell me, are you at an arena? Like, are you in the stadium here?
No, it's more like a stage in a bar.
Okay.
It's like a little boys' town, basically.
Okay.
You pay a certain amount.
Tijuana?
No, it's right across the border. We used to cross Laredo. But it's like a little sub-town inside the town. You pay your money, you
A
get
little
in
bar,
the
I
door.
can see a little state. I mean,
Well, it's a bar, it's a motel, there's a few restaurants in there. It's enclosed. You're not open to everybody else. And you pay your money and they have a motel room for you, they got whores on spot, all the drugs you
it's like
want.
the Wild West.
It's pretty fucking awesome, but this bitch gets under the table and fucking guides this donkey and it is fucked up. I'm sitting in the middle of the bar just throwing up everywhere.
Sure did.
Talking about donkeys and hot chicks.
Yes.
Nobody said anything about hot chicks.
test drive in Mr. Raymond Samsell's 2019 C7 Z06. He shipped it to us, I think, from Pennsylvania. He actually shipped us this car and a super clean F-body. I think it was an 02 F-body with like 9,000 miles on it. It has the complete heads cam package on it. We're doing, I think, just general maintenance on it, and I think changing lifters, a few other things, I'm not really sure. Anyway, C7 Z06, this one came to us, I believe, with stock supercharger on it, with a camshaft and headers. So I really don't know what cam's in this thing, but we went ahead and upgraded to the 2650, so we put the Magnuson on it. He didn't want to do meth, which I kind of recommend as well. So we kind of did like a max effort build without doing meth, as well as running E85. So with the cam it has in it, I think it has a 32% fuel load. It doesn't have the bigger fuel load that we normally run, but it was already in the car, so we just saved them some money, kept the camshaft the way it is, and essentially Magnuson 2650, big bore mechanical fuel pump. We did the big injectors in it. I think this one has 65% injectors in it, if I remember correctly, as well as a low side fuel system as well. Added the flex fuel sensor to it, so this car can run on 93 or E85. And we kept the boost down. I think it's like 16, 17 pounds, just so we made sure we had enough fuel system for it. I think it made around right over 900, I think, rear wheel horsepower on E85. But the car drives phenomenal. I drove it once, I think yesterday. I drove it to lunch. The street manners on it are pretty good, so I know the cam in it isn't huge. But with 900 rear wheel horsepower, I want to try to get a good 6130 in it. And I just flashed the TCM, so it's going to take me probably a couple pulls to get the shift points right in manual mode where it shifts by itself. I just went ahead, he had Toyos on it, on the 20-inch wheel. It might have worked, but just because I want to try to get a good time on it, I put our 18-inch drag radials on it, so it does have the Mickey Thompson on it now. And hopefully if I have enough room and the racetracks open up here, I can try to get a couple 6130s in once we get there. But yeah, keeping his camshaft in it, still made good power. And again, no methanol is needed. This car can run 93 octane or E85. And as you can see, it can be driven anywhere, just like all the other cars we build. And if you wanted more horsepower, obviously we have to go from like 16 pounds of boost. I mean, we spin these Magnusons, we can make 22 with them. But in that case, we would need to do port injection on it. So we'd have to get rid of, or we could keep the big pump and big injectors, or put those back to stock and then just put the plates that go in between the supercharger and the cylinder head, do port injection on it with like a 4 fuel system in the tank. Then we can turn the boost up to like 22 pounds, and this setup will make about 1,050. We have another car that actually has that exact package that we're talking about, which hopefully will come in a later video, that does make about 1,050. So it'd be cool to see the difference between what this one does, 6130, and then adding an extra 150 or so rear wheel horsepower to a Z06 to see how much it actually gains in the 6130. So I'm gonna try to get to the spot. I'm gonna look over the log just 'cause I've been driving this thing, making sure the shift points are good, just normal driving. And then, yeah, hopefully we can make some pulls here in a little bit. I pulled over and just was looking at the logs, and I forgot to mention, big thing that we obviously upgraded that I forgot to mention was we did ice tank in the back with a big heat exchanger up front. So as y'all know, the 1.7 liter supercharger, we spin those pretty hard. They heat soak pretty good. The Magnusons are pretty efficient at 16 pounds, but he does plan to run this car hard a lot. So we went ahead and, took the measurements needed to ensure his intake air temps are good by adding the extra tank in the back as well as an aftermarket heat exchanger. So I am curious to see that the IATs were great on the dyno, but obviously that's making a pull with fans, letting it sit, making a pull with fans, let it sit. I'm curious to see what they look like on the street, making these 60 to 130. So again, just something I forgot to mention. Again, not quite to the racetrack yet, so when I get there, we'll see if I can't do a couple 60 to 130s, or at least one, and then pull over, make some changes, and then do a few more to make sure that the shift points are right, so it shifts by itself in manual mode, and it shifts where I want it to. So, all right, try a third gear roll first.
30.
Good. Alright, we are riding in Mr. Sam Cell's C7 Z06, another one of our 1,000 horsepower packages, finished up with a Maggie 2650, giving Jack a ride. Jason's uncle, right?
Yep.
What kind of cars have you had?
67 Chevy 2s, and I've got an Anglia now, 1950 Anglia.
Small block?
Yeah.
Naturally aspirated stuff?
Yeah, but I still don't have it like I want it.
Gotcha. Have you been to the drag strip in them and
No.
stuff before?
No, I've had it for 8 years, never been to the drag strip.
How about any of your older cars?
Never have.
What do you think the fastest car you've been
Well, it was a Chevy 2. I was running a 350, had a 456 ring pinion, and I'm sure running in the low 11s.
Gotcha. So,
And that was really fast.
so these right here, solid, obviously 9-second car making. This was like a 900 rear wheel horsepower. These using a drag strip, again, traction and everything, right? We have to hook up 60 foot, it right. Usually low 9s, like 920s, and about 127 to about 150. And I like it because you can also hop in and do what we're doing now and just drive it every day without, you know, race car stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, technology's a lot different with these new cars compared to the old school stuff.
In 64, I went to my first drag race. Top fuel dragsters were running 10, 15. And about 6 months later, they got in the 9s. So,
Crazy, right?
oh yeah, it's just unreal.
Honest. But I'll probably just do a nice little third gear roll because I want him to feel a decent 60 to 130 if we can. Try to get his opinions of these new style cars versus the old school stuff that he's used to driving and playing with. So these obviously 8-speed automatics, right? Completely different from, I'm sure, what you're used to.
Yes.
The way we tune them, like we put it in manual mode and you have to tap up, tap down, right? To shift it. But the way we tune it, once it's in manual mode, you can kind of put it in the gear that you want and then just stab it and it's gonna shift for us. So make sure we have, let's see if we can get good little footage of this. Hopefully we have traction, we'll see. But yeah, so third gear, traction control on. We are on a Toyo, so it should hook up, but let's see what she does.
Son of a bitch, that feels good.
Oh yeah, so from 60 to 130 miles an hour, we did it in 5.0
Good
seconds.
Lord, that's fast.
And it was spinning a little bit in third gear. Traction control light was flashing at me, but again, as you can see, I'm not like
Oh, you
fighting it or nothing. Like the old school cars, those of you out there watching, I've driven older cars, you know, at drag strips and so forth, depending on what tires you're on. I mean, the suspension in those cars, you're driving down the drag strip or a street, you're fighting it, whether it's an 11-second car even, right? This thing, we're making over right at 900 rear wheel horsepower, and again, I try to tell customers,
It's like a Cadillac.
right? And it's the biggest thing is just the fear of staying in it. But once you get used to it, like I said, we build these cars, at least I try to, where someone that's never driven a sports car before in their life can hop in something like this and get used to it. That's why we try to build the packages that we do from when it comes to horsepower to torque, but also the right tires on it and the way we tune it and everything so that it can be driven daily. And then also, again, you can hit it when you want and you're not switching lanes or going sideways or
Right.
doing crazy stuff. Would that feel good or what?
It felt really good. It went straight as it could go.
Yes.
Make sure the front tires didn't come up and around. It felt like they were skipping.
It feels good, right?
Dang, boy, that feels good.
Yeah, like I said, with those Toyos on it, it spun just a little bit. I can see the traction control light flashing at us, but for the most part, it's just top of third and we're good.
It's faster than 49 son of a bitch. God, this thing feels good. It goes straight.